Hello everybody and welcome back to mentfx. In this episode, I want to talk about the harsh truth of FTMO or any other prop firms ultimately. And the reality is, the harsh truth about it is that it's either the best opportunity that you're ever going to have in your trading career, or it's going to be one of the easiest opportunities that you throw away, fuck over your entire trading account, and quit as a result of. Okay, and what I mean by this is, so actually the clickbait or the title of the video is a little bit on the edge of making you guys think that it was a bad thing, but in reality, I absolutely love the idea of prop firms and the idea of FTMO, Fivers, and prop firms of that nature. Why? Because they give you a way to get into this market, if you understand what you're doing, much quicker than what was available to you way in the past. And what I mean by that is, once you have refined your strategy and understood yourself personally and how you want to trade and operate in this market, then it's very easy to get yourself signed up with one of these firms to pass their evaluations, whichever evaluations they may be, whether you're a short-term trader and like the FTMO type of thing, or if you want to have a longer-term build of account capital and things and going with the Fivers. It gives you an opportunity to get into the arena of trading with real capital and a real account significantly quicker than you would building an account, catching whatever 15 pips a week, whatever the rule is right now for how people operate in this market. For everybody that's in my mentorship and even anybody on this YouTube, a lot of you understand that I do not care for time. I do not care for pips a week. What I care about is RR and how you catch it. Ultimately, pips a week does not guarantee you that you're going to make money, because if you're making 15 pips a week, but you're risking 100 pips to do it, and then one week you have a bad week and you lose 100 pips, well, that's going to mean that you're now going to have to take the next, 5 weeks making those pips back. So thinking about profits and thinking about the markets in terms of making money as pulling pips out of the market makes very little sense, and actually might be more detrimental to you than approaching it a different way, which is RR from my end, right? Because if you're risking a certain amount of RR and making positive RR as a result, or have a lower win rate but making much higher RR, like 1 to 10, 1 to 100 every single time you get involved in a trade, well then that is going to consistently make you money. Pulling pips out of the market consistently will not make you money because you don't know what your risk is, okay? So the reason I want to make this video is because I want a lot of you to understand that a prop firm is the best possible thing, including FTMO, Fivers, those are the two that I recommend and that I like, is the best possible thing that you can have as an actual trader. Why? Because once you have your strategy mapped out and you know how you want to get involved in the market and you know where you're going to get involved in using what, whether it's Wyckoff, whether it's order blocks, whether it's structure, whether it's higher time frame swing trades or lower time frame scalp trades that could become swing trades. Once you have that figured out, then you have a very quick funnel ultimately to have a proper trading account that you can make good money on and potentially quit your 9 to 5, whatever it might be, and work for yourself, right? There's a much easier boundary now to get into the market in terms of having a capital account. However, that comes with the limitations of the people that think they are prepared and end up throwing it all away. Okay, so a lot of people do not like FTMO or trash it because, or even any other prop firm, because of the idea that you have these things, these valuations you need to pass, and ultimately it's gambling. Well, the reality is most of Forex is gambling or stock trading or anything of that nature, right? You can look at any currency pair, any stock you want to look at, and it's still considered gambling. Why? Because when you're putting money up and you're risking something to potentially make more, in everyone's case, it's considered gambling unless you're doing it smartly. The same way that you approach a prop firm, right? So for instance, if you approach a prop firm like FTMO and you go, okay, I want my $100,000 account, I'm going to put down my $700 and trade that, but you don't know what you're doing, you're going to gamble away that $700 and lose it, right? And then you might go and write a bad review on FTMO and go, fuck FTMO, I hate them, they got all my money, they're all a scam, it's impossible to pass. But on the other end, if you go into an FTMO challenge and the verification, or a Fivers challenge, or whatever it might be, with the intent of knowing how you're going to go about passing it, right? Well, then you're more likely going to pass it because you already have a way to approach it, which is why I think it's so beautiful that these things exist now. Those of you that are learning right now, exist in a time where it's actually much easier. The boundaries to get in are much easier, but it's also much easier to quit early and give up. Why? Because you can lose a lot of money now trying to invest in these challenges and things if you don't know what you're doing. So again, as a lot of you know, I trade with FTMO. I traded with FTMO after I passed their challenge, their verification, because I knew how I wanted to approach the market, and since then have been trading with them. A lot of people in the mentorship have seen it. A lot of people have seen me post things back and forth. We caught all of these trades you see right here in this last week. So this was from the 2nd of February right here. And since then, we've caught all these trades over here. And for those that want to see something, here are all the trades we caught on CTrader. So this is CTrader right here. You can see how we caught them. They're all available to you right here. And we're actually currently floating on this position right here with partials already secured and our stop loss locked in at just above this high. And we're actually going to talk about in this video and a little bit of the ones in the future that are about to come out down the line of this week or next week about how we caught every single one of these trades and how I basically was able to enter every single one of these, partial properly, manage my trades properly, and make money on trades that look like they might have lost, and then make money on the real move that, you know, is now up. I believe it went up to 1 to 30. Yeah, so about 1 to 29.6 at this area. So again, we didn't catch the whole thing, right? We caught it from here. We partialed at 1 to 14. We're looking to partial again at 1 to 36, and we're locked in at 1 to 14 right here above this high as well. And additionally, we're looking for the higher time frame areas, this area specifically, and potentially this area to be met from this sell over here. So this low right here would be met already at 1 to 86, right? If we went for the halfway, which also could be hit, if you see these little gray lines, which show my order blocks that I'm looking for a price to make its way to, 1 to 103, right? 1 to 124. And if we do keep going lower, right, as our counter trend that comes down into all these areas down here, then we're looking at about 1 to 166, or to the final POI I had linked over here, right, a 1 to 198. Now, when I show you this, that's not to say that this trade is going to run there. This trade could literally, at the end of this video, be above this point here, which would mean that I'd be out of this trade at a trailed profit, but I would have made 1 to 14, right, RR on this trade fully, right? It ran like 1 to 20, we partialed, and then we have it locked in. So the reality is you're not going to have every trade run to the point you want it to run, but understanding yourself and understanding your strategy is what's going to decide whether or not you're successful in this market. That has never changed. That has always remained a constant. Whether you're trading your own account or whether you're trading someone else's account and their challenge or their verification. If you know going into Forex trading with your own account of $100, $1,000, $10,000 that you're going to make money and you know how you're going to do it, then you're going to be able to do it, right? Don't sue me. This is just, what is it? This is a little bit of motivation, but it's so a lot of you understand it. But if you go into a prop firm evaluation to get funded by their company and their money, and you know what you're doing, you are most likely, not always, but you are most likely going to get funded with that company as well. Now, if you go into Forex thinking you understand everything, right? Whether you're looking at MA crossovers or even order blocks or even Wyckoff, thinking you know how to get involved finally and just start doing it off of your own account, you will most likely end up failing and losing your money, and then you want to give up. Now, on the other end, if you go into something like a prop firm, right, like an evaluation like FTMO or the Fivers, and you put down $700 for your $100,000 account, your emotions are going to run rampant. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're losing big amounts of money on that $100,000 account, what happens? Well, everything that happens to you on a smaller account that might be yours, you start getting emotional, you start revenge trading, and now it's with much higher lots, with much higher leverage, with much higher ability to risk and much more ability to lose. So you end up failing that challenge either very quickly or you pass it very quickly. And at that point, right, it becomes gambling, and then people start to hate on things like the Fivers, like FTMO, because they don't understand or they didn't even have a way to get in beforehand, right? The same way that if you took your money and put it into a Forex account, your own money, and then lost it, you have no one else to blame but either price, your broker, or yourself. But when you start to put your money into a prop firm and trade their money when it's more money and then lose it, now you have somebody else to blame, and you don't think that you're the one that's basically to blame for losing that money when you are. right? That $700 is your own investment that you're looking to invest to grow an account with proper capital in it. To do that, you need to make the recognition that you have to still go into it with an actual strategy in mind. Now, in the mentorship, we have multiple people that have different ways of trading the same concepts. And these people have developed PDFs and their own step-by-step checklists that allow them to get into the market in their specific way. Despite the fact that I trade this way, where I'm getting involved on much lower timeframes off of higher timeframe areas of interest, which we're going to go all over in this in the next few videos, right? Does not mean that everybody in my group trades the same way as me. Now, again, you don't have to believe what you see here. You don't have to believe that we're floating on this. You don't have to even believe the fact that I showed you guys the history of my orders, right? So actually, if I can extend this and just show it normally, here we go. So I'll move this over. So this is the Street Trader FTMO account. Again, it says demo. Why does it say demo? Because it's the FTMO account. All FTMO accounts are run on demo even when they're live, but this is that live account that we're talking about, right? This is from the, as you can see, the period of the current week. Everything that surpassed from the 1st of February, we had some buys on Euro USD, and then basically the rest of the week was all GJ. And all these GJ trades were based on the markup you see right here. And every single trade was recorded right here, and we're gonna go over this, but the reality is, again, there are very small trades, and I'm getting involved in very small areas on this chart. As you can see, right? You have 1.7 pip stop loss here. You have a 1 pip stop loss here. You have a, let's actually zoom in here a little bit. You have a 2.5 pip stop loss here. You have a 2.3 pip stop loss here. You have a 1.3 pip stop loss in here. You have a 1.1 pip stop loss in here, and you have a 2.2 pip stop loss in here, right? A lot of people will see this and think it doesn't make any sense and that you can't do it. Now, like I've said in my previous videos, the reality of this is that this trade right here or this trade right here, let's see, the one we're in right now. So this is the one we're floating in right now with our stop loss above this high right here, right? The one we're floating in right now, so we're actually looking for some sells at this point right here. Again, this is all perspective based, so I'm gonna be looking at this right after this video. But the same way that this is 1 pip risk to make potentially, 86 pips, or in this case, you could go to this low and say 36 pips. It's the same thing as saying or entering off of a 4-hour chart, right? So that 4-hour right here. And this being, for instance, 100 pips and to make 3,600 pips. Or the same as entering off of a 10 pip stop loss, looking to make 360 pips with partials at, what is this right here? At 14 pips, so at 140 pips, right? So again, forget the fact that what you're seeing here is occurring on a 3-minute, 1-minute, and even lower time frame, because a lot of these entries were caught off of 15-second, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and even 5-minute entries, right? Now, if you think about what's going on here, we could do the exact same thing, but it would take longer off a higher time frame. Now, why is FTMO or something like that so powerful? Because it gives you the capital you need to enter the same risk that you would usually use on higher time frames on the lower time frames. So when I entered these trades, as you saw as you just saw the history of what actually surpassed on this account in the last week, right? The numbers that you see here, the profits are not huge. Now, the reason for that is because I myself don't even risk 1% per trade. When I trade, I risk 0.3% of my balance per trade, or actually 0.1 to 0.3%. So either $100, $200 to $300 per trade, right? So as a result, that's what you're seeing reflected in these profits. Right? Now, again, if I was trading 1%, I could, but I don't, right? I like to keep my risk smaller because it keeps my emotions at bay, ultimately, right? It's going to be different for a lot of people. Some people are okay with risking 1%. Some people are okay with risking 2%. Some people are okay with risking even 3%. But what I'm trying to get at is FTMO or prop firms will give you the ability to take what you know and how you can do it and start applying it on even lower timeframes because you have higher leverage, or can let you start to apply what you know and can do with a capital base that can actually be meaningful in terms of earning potential. So basically, the summation of this video, although we didn't talk too much about this stuff in here, which we will talk about in the following videos, is basically to say and give a small review over prop firms and to ultimately say that prop firms will be the easiest way for you to get into this market and start making real money. However, it will also be the easiest route to screwing yourself over if you don't know what you're doing and completely disincentivizing you and basically letting you give up early if you don't know what you're doing. Right? Because the reality is, if you know what you're doing, you're going to be successful and you're going to pass and you're going to do a lot of great stuff, just like we have in the mentorship. So if we open this up and we just go over here, right? You have a lot of people that are starting to become funded in this group. A lot of people that are starting to catch a lot of trades back and forth, right? Like this guy's even up 40R. I'm just looking at this real quick. And you have a lot of people that are becoming very, very profitable trading this way and thinking this way. So like you can even see like people post things daily about stuff like this. And you know, if this was an FTMO account, these $22 profits, these $2 profits, these $3 profits could be now equivalent to $300 profits, to $3,000 profits, to $30,000 profits. Because as you grow an account and as you understand how you're trying to get involved and what you're doing to get involved, that number that might be, you know, that might be a risk 1 pip to make 17 pips, where, you know, on a lower account, you're making, I don't know, $10 off this move. In the future, that same move right here can be $100, can be $1,000, can be $10,000, can be $100,000, can be $1 million, right? The possibilities are endless. So the beautiful thing about something like a prop firm is that, one, you get a capital, you get a capital that you can actually trade for some real money. That capital can then lead you to either increase your account because of compounding, or to increase your savings that you can then invest yourself, that you can then compound the same way, right? The scary part of it is that if you don't know what you're doing, the same way that you're going to lose your normal Forex account is the exact same way you're going to lose the prop firm account. And then people will come out and lambash or bash in things like FTMO and Fivers for having their things too strict, for making it too hard. And they'll be like, oh, you know, 90%, 95% of people that take the challenge fail. But to that exact same statistic, what's the percentage of people that fail in the Forex and the stock market? 95%, right? And that's because they go and they risk their money without understanding what they're doing, and they lose. Just like they go invest their money into a prop firm and lose. That 5% that knows what they're doing and making money already on their accounts, or their small accounts, or even their cent accounts, can then go invest in FTMO and repeat the same things they were doing to make 10 cents, 50 cents, or even $1 on their smaller accounts, and now make not 10 cents, but $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, and so on and so forth on their FTMO or prop firm account. So the harsh truth by the end of all this is that it is a beautiful opportunity for a lot of you that are now joining this, new to this, or have not fully discovered your edge yet. Because once you have it, it's very easy to get into the arena of trading with real capital. But the hard part is keeping your emotions out of it and not letting yourself get carried away with the fact that, you know, it's available to you right now and you have to get involved in it and lose everything. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this explains a little bit about FTMO and how I think about it, and how you can start to look. So as you can see, we were actually watching this. This does not look like there's going to be any sell opportunity. So this is canceled at this point. And we're looking like we're about to hit our stop loss on this, which is going to be fine. So we have it running right now at 2.5 lots. So net 300. I'm just looking at my my position right here, right? So again, it's the demo FTMO account, technically, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's connected to your real FTMO account. We're running on this trade with the stop loss already locked in right here, right? The original partial was taken on a much lower time frame. Then the next partial was taken down here at this order block. And the next partial that we're looking to take is going to be down here. And then, of course, we're targeting, as we spoke about, those 4-hour lows, right? Same thing, same approach. We have a way of getting involved. You can see the history right here of everything that surpassed this week, right? You guys don't have to believe me. You can say it's fake. I don't really care. The reality is this is how we trade. This is how I teach people to trade. And a lot of people are becoming profitable trading this way. And the main thing I want to say is that those people that are not in the mentorship also have seen a lot of success with a lot of the information that we've given, and with the way that we trade. And if you continue to study this on your own, even if you want to, you don't have to join, none of that stuff. I don't really care. If you continue to study this, eventually you're going to get to a point where you understand your own edge and your own refinement, whether it's on the 1 hour, 4 hour, whatever it might be on, right? Whether it's even swing trading. And then once you've understood that, you can take yourself to the next level by investing in a prop firm or something of that sort. Because you should not be doing it if you don't know what you're doing in the first place. No one's going to take the trades for you. No one's going to give you the signals to make it. You yourself are who is responsible for your own wealth, for your own way of working, and your own future. So I hope you guys take this with a grain of salt. I hope you guys understand that becoming profitable in these markets does not just mean getting a FTMO account and hoping to pass. It means understanding yourself in and out, understanding your strategy inside and out, and then and only then getting involved either on your own personal account or on an FTMO account or something like that. So again, the harsh truth is not all of you are going to make it if you don't put in the dedicated amount of time and the work that is required to pass or even build your own account using something like that. So thank you so much for watching, guys. This was mentfx, and I'll see you in the next few videos where we basically decipher what has surpassed over the last week and how we got involved in all of these trades right here. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.